Shalom, Namaste, Bonjour, Tanze Taweo, good evening, and Assalamu Alaikum. My name is Nowshad Ali of On Purpose Leadership, and most people call me Shad, so you should feel comfortable to call me that later on. I'm here to speak about growth and the infinite possibilities that come through purpose. First, Lao Tzu has said, and I believe, that the key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. There's an African song that's called Lima Wisu, which means as in a mirror. We've likely all heard the saying, as within, so without. This is true whether we are talking about people, companies, neighborhoods, or nations. Think of a lemon. You know it when you see it and smell it, don't you? It's pretty distinctive, isn't it? When you squeeze a lemon, what do you get? Juice. And not just any juice, lemon juice. Why? Because that's what's in it. Well, it's the same with regard to growth, because as people, companies, neighborhoods, and nations, we continue to grow. But what type of growth do we have, and to what end? That is the essential question. Amazingly, when we look at companies, the number one thing that drives complexity are people. Oddly, this is the same if we look at neighborhoods or even nations. The number one thing that drives complexity is people. And success in our experience requires differing leadership modes to steward the flood zones people experience when in times of overwhelm and they feel they can't get out from underneath. Or the wind tunnels people experience when the principles and policies they have long held onto are challenged and they tighten their grip on long-held but no longer relevant customs and guideposts. In my experience, there are three types of growth we need to be mindful of. One, organic growth. It's a natural process. It's slow, gradual, has often low risk, and is responsive to environments and surroundings. Second, accidental growth. It comes by happenstance. It can be slow or fast, often has high risk, is brought about by environments and surroundings. It is growth that happens to you. And then there's purposeful growth. This is growth that is specific and intentional, growth that anticipates risk and plans to mitigate it, growth that demands responsibility, accountability, discipline, and focus. Purposeful growth is synergistic. And it is my contention that today what we need more than ever is purposeful growth. Our history of organic and accidental growth has brought us situations that, such as what we have today, including here in Saskatchewan. The good news, in Saskatchewan as a whole, land prices, including farmland, is at its highest value in history. We produce more food than we need, and food value is at an all-time high. Yet, food banks across this province, and indeed across this country, are experiencing demands that outstrips their capacity. Surely, this is not we as caring people, as caring communities, and a caring nation intended. This cannot be our purpose manifest. I was recently channel surfing and came across the movie Gandhi. It occurred to me as I watched this movie, and I've seen it a few times, Kim can attest to that, that what is most remembered about Gandhi was his discipline for nonviolence. But watching the movie this time, what really struck me was his even greater focus on purposeful growth for his people and his nation. He understood that for this growth to be achieved, it was essential that it began in neighborhoods with each and every person, and it had to be good for each and every person. Think about it. Do we deserve? No. Do we desire a world in which no one anywhere lives in extreme poverty? A world in which no one goes hungry or dies of disease or diseases we know how to cure? a world in which economies prosper and new wealth leads to decent jobs for everyone. Our industry, innovation, and infrastructure are used to not only make money, but also to make our lives better. People live in cities and communities that are safe, progressive, and supports everyone who lives there. And there is peace between and inside countries. By the way, these are just a few of the 17 United Nations global goals. But where do we begin? Lao Tzu said, even a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But here's what he also said. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. And watch your character, for it becomes destiny. So the root of this is our thinking. In our leadership programs, we suggest there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. It is your thinking and preparation that counts, in other words. At the beginning of this talk, I said the key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. To me, there are 6 universal laws which will reign for us individually and collectively. And these are, we move in the direction of things we think and talk about all of the time. So think and talk purposeful growth. We bring into our lives people and circumstances consistent with our dominant thoughts. So attract those that will help advance this purposeful growth. Every action has a consequence. So take action starting immediately. Yes, small steps count, and momentum is your ally. Everything is connected to everything else. So give yourself to the waves of positive energies that will cascade from your thoughts and your actions. And our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Lima we su, as in a mirror. Be the world you desire. I encourage you to choose purposeful growth over organic or accidental growth. I urge you to consider deliberately these new dimensions of consciousness you have to introduce into your awareness. I recognize we can't all be like Gandhi or Lao Tzu. But here's one more amazing thing. When a person just even witnesses an act of generosity and kindness, their feelings of positivity and exuberance is increased. And that to me is amazing. There's an Urdu song which goes, Lab pe aati hai dua, ban ke tamana meri, which when translated, this song generally means, may my life, like a candle, provide illumination for the world. May my homeland achieve elegance through me as the garden achieves elegance through the flowers. May I treasure the lamp of knowledge. May my life's way be in support of the poor, the old, and the suffering. I implore you to begin by seeking knowledge and taking the time to contemplate these words shared tonight. Encourage not only your heart to this commitment and action, but be a light to your friends, your families, your communities, and your organizations. Make a habit of doing something good to make someone else great. These undoubtedly will lead to the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into your awareness and to the awareness of those around you. This truly is the superlative path to growth that has infinite possibilities. Commit to purposeful growth. Thank you. Au revoir, Alvida, Khuda Hafiz.